Hello guys, what is up? Welcome to my channel. This is Spooky Noodles and this is a review. Yeah, I'm reviewing another movie. Now, I don't usually review movies that often, but lately I kind of have. Uh, I have this movie that I really want to review called The Pale Door. Uh, I think it was co-written with Joe R. Lansdale, and I can tell that he was a part of this film because without Joe R. Lansdale, I don't think this film would be watchable, to be honest with you. But the story itself was pretty good. Characters were okay. Um, but it was just a subpar film, you know. It barely crawled up to 3 stars for me. So basically, the story's about these two brothers and their kind of like little wily gang of outlaws, and they go to do a train heist. And when they get the package they're supposed to steal off the train, it turns out to be a girl. And the girl says, one of the guys gets shot for, and the one brother blames himself for his older brother getting shot. And basically, the witch says, we have a town over there. I'll take you to it. We have a doctor, and she's basically lying out her ass, just to save her own skin. But really, it's a big trap, and these outlaws get cornered in a town they shouldn't be in. Um, and that's when the witchy stuff happens. A bunch of stuff happens. There was one actually really good scene that almost kind of got me. And that I'm not gonna give it away. So, yeah, this is a 3-star watch. Do I recommend it? No. This is one of those films that I've been looking forward to all of 2020. When I heard about this movie being made and Joe R. Lansdale being a part of it, I was like, hell's yeah, because I've read one one collection of Western horror stories by Joe R. Lansdale. I forget what it was called. It was like Dead Man's Crossing or something like that. I forget what it was called though. And that was amazing, terrific. I was like, man, I wish more writers were behind movies, because if more writers like Joe R. Lansdale were behind movies, then we'd have a lot of good movies. That's what I was thinking at the time. Then I heard that he was going to be a part of this movie, The Pale Door, which has a badass name. I think it's a Bible reference or something like that. I'm not sure. I've never heard, they didn't really explain the Pale Door at all. There was one scene where he references, like, I think he quotes the Bible or something and says something about referencing the Pale Door. But other than that, there's not much. I feel like this would have been a better written book than the actors weren't that great, to be honest with you. The filming was not that great. The special effects was okay. At times it was good, but it was just okay, to be honest. It was a really subpar film for me. And sorry for the glare, by the way. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Maybe that will help. But yeah, I just found it to be subpar. It wasn't anything special to me, which really blows, because I was really looking forward to this movie all year 2020. And then when I saw it was on Shudder, I was like, fuck yeah, So I went and played it, but it just wasn't. Maybe more people would like it more, rather than, like, maybe it's just not my cup of tea. Maybe I'm not into Western horror at the moment, but I doubt that's the problem. I just feel like this was just a subpar film. Like, 3 stars because Joe R. Lansdale, I feel like he wrote the story itself should be really good, and if it was on paper, I feel like it would be great. I just don't feel like the actors carried it very well. I don't think the directors did a very great job. I'm sorry, I don't mean to dog on anybody, but this is something I was looking really forward to, and it just fell flat for me. The ending was kind of flat, and I thought there was a few times where I'm like, oh fuck yeah, this ending would make up for the whole movie, But then it kind of dragged and dragged, and then Like I thought for sure it was gonna end one way, and I was like, okay, if it ends that way, then I'm cool with that. That's a good wrap up, you know. But then it kept going and going, and I was like, oh my god, come on, man. Because this whole time you're thinking you don't want the witches to win and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna tell you if they win or not, but I would like to see it like a lose lose situation where it's like in order to win you have to lose. If that makes any sense. Like I'll give you an example. So there's no, I can't give you an example without ruining a scene, so I can't do that. But like there's a win-win, there's a win-lose, there's a lose-win, and then there's the lose-lose. And if I would have loved if someone had to, because the witches basically they're trying to get this kid, the younger brother, who's like pure, I guess, and he hasn't done like anything wrong in his life. He hasn't shot at anybody, which is rare in outlaw country. Um, he's never had sex, and a bunch of other stuff. You know, he's actually gay. I think they insinuated, but I don't really. That didn't really matter at all in the film. Um, he said that the girls at the brothel weren't his type or something like that, and I think that was insinuating to he was gay. But again, I don't think it mattered at all. But the witches want to use sacrifice him so they can live longer, another century or two, and yeah, it's just imagine if the character, this whole film where these witches are trying to torture and torture their minds and stuff like that in order to get them to get this boy to sacrifice himself for them. And then at the end he puts a gun to his temple and is like, yo, you know if what if he killed himself, basically. The witches can't kill, like the witches can't sacrifice him if he kills somebody, and if he kills himself, that means it's a kind of like a lose-lose situation. And I kind of did ruin the movie right there, but I'm sorry, maybe I'll put a spoiler in the beginning of this. So if you have any intention of watching The Pale Door, um maybe not watch this review. Because I don't know how much of a spoiler that was, but basically, yeah, I wanted it to end that way. It would have been a dark, sad ending to a dark movie. Not saying this was like a super dark movie or anything like that, but I mean, it would have gave it something, like the movie would have had something going for it. But it ends with kind of like I wouldn't say a twist. It was just kind of like I don't know. There was no twist really. It was just kind of dragged out and boring, and I didn't really like it that much, which stinks because, like I said, I was looking forward to this movie all year long, and then when I finally get to watch it, it's 12/29/2020 at the moment, and we're about to hop into 2021 soon. I'm hoping for some great movies next year. I'm gonna be watching anything for Jackson, which I hear great things about. Um, I don't know if I'm going to read it or watch it now. I probably get some reading in and then some writing in, and then maybe I'll pump out another movie. But I'm kind of, I don't know. Movies are like 50/50s for me, and I'm either going to have a really good time or a really bad time. This was one of those like kind of in between type things, but in the end, 3 stars. I just don't. I don't. I didn't like this movie that much. I know 3 stars doesn't. I only give it 3 stars because Joe. I could see how much work Joe Lar Lansdale might have put in this movie. I could see the character development that could have been there. The actors just didn't carry out the script very well. The directors didn't point them in the right directions. I don't know what was wrong, but something was lacking in the filmmaking, and overall, I just don't think this movie landed. Like like the movie didn't do any cool spins while it was up in the air, and then when it landed, it didn't even nail the landing. So all it did was get a good jump in the air, and that's it. Sorry, that's probably a bad metaphor or analogy or whatever, but Yeah, that's the Pale Door for you guys. Like I said, Joe R. Lansdale was behind this, and Joe R. Lansdale is an amazing writer. All right, I could not like fanboy enough. I haven't read too much by him. Like I said, I think it was called Dead Man's Crossing. I think I read, which is a collection of short stories about this man who hunts like the supernatural or something like that. I forget. It's been a while since I listened to the audiobook. And I even own a book called oh fudge. What was the movie called? I can't remember what the movie's called. But it's the first in a long series of books. Hup and Dale? No, that's not right. Um I can't think of the movie's name or the book's name. They made a show out of it, and I watched a few episodes of the show, and I was digging it. I was really digging it. That was a good adaptation, I think. But I haven't read the book yet, but I need to. Because Joe R. Lansdale's writing is great. There's a few authors out there that I really like Ronald Kelly, Wrath James White. Right now, Jeff Strand is doing it for me, and Joe R. Lansdale's one of those authors that are just great, I think. And then I have a bunch of authors I really respect, like Aaron Beauregard, P. A. Douglas, you know. Um, so yeah. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is Joe R. Lansdale is great. And he was behind this movie, and I think because of him, I give this a 3 stars. But overall, it should have been less. Like if Joe R. Lansdale didn't have anything to do with this film, I don't think the movie would be even 3 stars. Like I feel like he's the reason why this movie gets 3 stars. Because I can see like if he wrote this as a book, this would be a badass book. You know, like his idea just was instead of being made into a book and then adapted, it's like they did pulled a Clive Barker and just skipped the and just made it a movie type thing. Like what I mean by Clive Barker is like he had every intention to make not Lord of Illusions. What's the book called? Nightbreed. The book actually I think is a different title. I'm not sure. I think the title of the book is called like oh I don't know. Can't think of it at the moment. I can actually look it up though because my computer's right here. So um, and I didn't really like the Nightbreed movie, by the way. Oh, Cabal or Cable. No, it's Cabal. Cabal. The book's called Cabal, but I think he might have started writing the script first before he even started writing the book, and the book was basically like a rough draft for the movie. So that's what I kind of mean. It's like Joe R. Lansdale had a great idea, and he made great characters, but instead of making it into a book, he just put it on the big screen, and I don't think it transitioned from his head to the screen very well. You know what I'm saying? I wish this was a book for sure, because if The Pale Door was a book, I'm sure it would have been a ton better. Um, but yeah, and I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna look up right here, right now, Joe R. Lansdale, and I'm gonna because I know I'm saying the book's wrong. But he was influenced by H.P. Lovecraft, Ray Bradbury, Edgar Allan Poe, and more. Oh, that's the book I read or I own, Savage Season, by and that's part of the what do you call it? Hap and Leonard. That's it. What I call it, Hap and Tucker. Yeah, it's part of the Hap and Leonard series, and this is a long ass series. He also has a book that I own called The Bottoms, which is a coming of age story that has to do with race, which I absolutely adore. Um, but yeah, I really have the intention to read more by this guy. I think he's an amazing author. He also has The Fine Dark Line, which is a good one. The Drive-In, I hear, is a good one. I don't know if any of these are good because I've only read one and I'm looking for it at the moment. I can't find it at the moment though. The Thicket I hear is good. All the Hap and Leonard books I hear are good. Fender Lizards, I don't know what that's about, but it sounds like a prostitute. Uh, or is that Trucker Lizards? I don't remember. One of them means. Oh, here it is. Dead Man's Road. I got it so fucking wrong. Uh, yeah, it's Dead Man's Road, not Dead Man's Crossing. But you can see I'm not that far off. Dead Man's Road was really good. Came out in 2010, so 10 years ago. Very, very fun short stories about this guy who basically hunts down the supernatural. Now, I don't. I just looked up here, and he has a book called um, "Dead in the West," which I wonder if that has to do with. Oh, it has to do with Reverend Jebediah. Okay, so that's the guy who plays in the Dead Man's Road or whatever. Um, he's a really good. The Reverend's a really good Western. I feel like writing a Western at the moment, but I don't know. And I don't know why I'm so inspired to write a Western at the moment because that Pale Door movie, like I said, was not that great. I would say skip this movie, but in the end, I don't think you should listen to me. If you want to watch it, watch it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Um, Definitely don't listen to me because, I'm not exactly like, I'm not Rotten Tomatoes over here. I'm just some guy who watched a movie and I'm giving you my review. So that's it. Gone on for 16 minutes. I dragged on like the ending of this movie did. Um, but anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you have a spooky night. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, guys.